What we did in the first two videos about using the screen for input is we talked about how to bring in a text field, a pick list, a multi-select pick list, also a date and time field, and a numeric field, the duration of a class. And now what we want to do is we want to pull all those contacts that are equal to instructor, that have a relationship equal to instructor. I'm also going to filter for those that have a first name of test, just so that it's the subset that's a good test set. And you could think of this as doing a lookup, just like we would click here and look for accounts, we could fill it in. This is a way to be able to pull up on an entry screen a subset of records. So let's take a look at how that's going to work. Now, the couple things we had to build on the front end, we needed, and so what I did was to build let me just click on it here. You can see information down below, which is again why a description is really helpful for these. But if we click here, I built a constant and just use the naming convention CON relationship instructor with the value instructor, and so that's a constant. And then the other one I built was a variable, which in the same way we could bring up a variable, which is a variable instructor ID, and it's used to track instructor IDs. And it's input output, and it's also has a default value of an empty string, just so that it doesn't get confused as we run the system. So let me just show you how that works. So what we could do is again, from here we could drag over a screen, right, over to here. But what we're going to do instead is to load this one. And what we're going to be doing, just to show you how this works, I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to add it as a radio button, because this is a radio button as well. So I just want to show you how that's going to look. You can see how the little icon shows up there as opposed to a box. And so what I'm going to do is double click on it, and let me call it just test buttons, just so you see what it does. And that changes it to test buttons here, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll down, and we're going to go after, this is the choice here. This is text, and we're not going to have a default value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new one, and this is a dynamic record choice. And so what I'm going to do is again, put in here just test. I didn't, but this would be, you'll see how this shows up on the next one. What I'm going to do is to give it the object that I'm creating the choice for. So in this, what I'm doing is going after contacts. So I'm going to select contacts, and you'll see this screen shows up. And then what I'm going to do is to show you how we've kind of completed it. So, and you know, the easy way, you can always delete these, just throw it away here. What I'm going to do is to go over here and show you how this looks. So this is, again, this is the select instructor. What I've done is to gone after this select instructor is my choice. That was the one that we did as a dynamic record choice. I'm going to double click here. That's going to show me this record, right? This is the select instructor DRC, dynamic record choice. And what I've got here is I'm looking for contacts that have relationship equal to, and this is that constant, which is equal to instructor, and their first name contains, again, the constant test, just to select that subset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, the field that I want to use for my choice label is name. And then what I'm doing is assigning the variable. So I'm going to assign the record ID that gets returned to a variable instructor ID. And then also I'm going to store the name in a variable instructor name, just so that I can print it out and make it work. But that would make that happen. And so because I've selected as a primary, everything is ready to roll there. I've saved it. I can now click run. And what it does is it gives me this, and I can say, okay, what I'm going to do is I want to add instructor 2 for this one. And I can click finish. And what it would do is it would give me another choice. So it's just running it through. But now what it's done is to save those variables. And we'll take a look at that as a next step. Thanks for watching.